It's after she. Is Jeff coming or? Jeff's actually not coming in person. Oh, he said he's gonna join online, but I gotcha. Oh, okay, it's for us. Oh, Mary Margaret to me, because I had to ask her about this process of putting days, and she was like, "It's a machine that sucks the body." I just like, that's mental, because I just like doing that. They don't have the.
So I know y'all been in school, but you like it?
Oh,
Love it. It's really nice.
yeah.
Hey guys, just FYI, we're going live at 10, so just so everyone knows.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be live chatting about
world
websites. It's always nice to know before your streams, so you know, the whole state.
Yes. Yes. Very nice. I like that.
Small things about that. Like the
Well, when I got in the elevator, it just.
Did you see the phone? You guys played it?
Yeah.
Oh, the what is it? Wow,
So George the Peach was
That's right.
mascot from the Avery Foundation.
We're live.
And
Yeah. All right, everybody, we're live.
We're live.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shandina Morris, and I am the chair of the DFAC State Advisory Board meeting this Tuesday, May 21st, 2004. So we will start our meeting at this point in time. So I just want to welcome everyone. Excited to have everyone here. We have a bit of a hybrid where some people are in person. And thank you to the board members that are in person, and thank you to our board members that are virtual. And I will just share with you that my mother has some health issues, and so I am multitasking, so I will be virtual today. Otherwise, I would love to be with you all in person. With that being said, just before we have the roll call, I would like to give a warm welcome to Anna, one of our new board members. And Anna, before we have our board roll call, I would just like to extend an invitation for you to say a couple of words.
Sure. Hi, I'm Anna Bearden. I live in Athens, Georgia. I work with a nonprofit there that supports foster and adoptive families, and I am excited to join you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We're glad to have you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Now at this time, I am going to call the roll and see if we have quorum. So region number 2, Dr. Fran Chastain. Okay. Region number 3.
Yes, Randall Hamburg.
Okay. Region number 5.
Yes, Anna Bearden.
Thank you. Region number 7. Is Deke present?
Deke is not going to probably be joining us today.
Okay. Region number 8. Belva present. Okay. And region number 9. Region number 9, Travis, not present. Region number 10. Don't see Tommy. Region number 11.
Lacey Tibbins, Region 11.
Thank you. Region number 12.
Allie Christensen, Region 12. Good morning.
Good morning. Region number 13.
Meredith Holt, I'm here.
Okay, and region number 14, myself, Shandina Morris. And then with our at-large members, is Virgil present? Virgil Costley. Jeff Muir? I thought Jeff was present on turn. Jennifer?
I'm here, present.
Okay, and Janice? No response. Okay, so at this time, Emma, do we have enough people in attendance that we have quorum?
Yes, we just had our 8th person join, so we are right at a quorum.
Okay, and who is the person that just joined? Is
Judge
that-
Hosty just joined us.
Okay. Good morning, Judge. And I think his device is on mute. So at this time, since we do have quorum, we will have an approval of the meeting agenda. And so just a little bit of housekeeping. Please state your name when you are making or seconding a motion so it can be included in the minutes. And so today's meeting agenda has been distributed to you all via email. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing no response about corrections.
See none.
Okay, thank you. And is there a motion?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, thank you. Is there, and that was Jennifer, is that correct? Jennifer, if you
Correct.
don't mind, would you just, anybody making a motion, if you would state your name so we can have a record of that. And do we have a second to the motion?
Lacey Tippins, Region 11. I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. So it has been moved and properly second that the meeting agenda for today be approved. Is there any discussion? And all in favor, if you would just,
Aye.
for those of you all that are present in person, if you would just raise your hands, and for those that are on the Zoom, on the team meetings, if you would just say aye.
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 And so are there any opposed? Hearing none, it was properly moved and seconded. And it carries unanimously. Now, in reference to the minutes, we will now have the approval of the minutes, the DFACS Advisory Board approval of the March 5th, 2024 meeting minutes have been also distributed to you all via email. Are there any corrections to those? Hearing no response, is there a motion to approve the DFACS Advisory Board meeting minutes from the March 5th, 2024 meeting?
Make the motion. We're gonna follow read the motion.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I could not hear you that well. Who?
It was me, Meredith. It's Meredith Holt.
Thank you. So we have the motion. Do we have a second?
Sure, Randall Hambrick.
Okay, so it has been moved and properly seconded that the Division of Family and Children Services Advisory Board minutes for the March 5th, 2024 meeting be approved. Is there any discussion? All in favor, if you would say aye and or raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Is there anyone opposed? Hearing and seeing none, the motion carries and is approved unanimously. Thank you. So now at this time, we will have our agency reports. But before we start with our agency reports, I would like to read a letter, a report from our commissioner, Commissioner Brose. And so Commissioner Brose sent this to the board, and I think this is a wonderful update as to where we are and what's going on. And so I will read this to you all at this time. Also, you all should have received a copy of this via email, but I would like to share it. It states, "Dear board members, I'd like to share a few updates before our board meeting on May 21st, 2024. We are nearing the end of the Medicaid redetermination process, and we have seen a steady decline in pending renewals. Our frontline workers have taken advantage of voluntary overtime and stipends to work on extra cases. We have also hired new staff, continued training veteran staff, and onboarded contract workers to help increase our capacity. We must complete all public health emergency renewals by the end of May, and we are confident in our progress. Our team has also updated internal processes to increase efficiency and improve technology in SNAP cases, and they work tirelessly to process overdue cases as quickly as possible. We still have much work to do, including filling vacant job positions. We continue to hire new staff in our Office of Family Independence, which is OFI, and develop ways to retain them and help them grow professionally. We are currently working on professional development program that will facilitate knowledge transfer from supervisors and caseworkers, for example. Child Welfare is working on a number of technology projects, one of which includes Georgia's CommuniCare, a set of interconnected web portals designed to support and enhance child welfare programs. It connects child welfare staff, court-appointed special advocates, also known as CASA, foster parents, and parents, and it seamlessly integrates with SHINES, our existing system of records to ensure robust data management and communication. Over the past few months, we've been actively working to enhance the system and create a mobile application to provide easy access to the platform for users. Our hope is that Georgia CommuniCare will allow all of those involved in a child welfare case the opportunity to connect and assess the information they need to see faster. We're hoping to deploy more enhancements to CommuniCare later this month. May is National Foster Care Month, a time to celebrate our current foster caregivers and their commitment to providing safe, stable, and loving homes for children and youth in foster care. This month also serves as a time for us to spread awareness about the need for additional foster caregivers across the state. Each year, we select a foster caregiver or family from each of the 14 DFACS regions to be recognized as a Foster Caregiver of the Year. We will be hosting a virtual Foster Caregiver of the Year celebration on Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024 to honor award recipients, and we would also be glad to have you join us. Finally, we will host our annual Celebration of Excellence event to honor our youth and young adults in foster care who have successfully completed their secondary and post-secondary education. The Celebration of Excellence luncheon will be held on Thursday, June 27, 2024 at 11 a.m. We will be sending a save the date and formal invitation for this event soon, so please keep an eye out for more information. Thank you for your partnership, and that is signed and dated by our Commissioner Candace Brose with the Georgia Department of Human Services Commission. So at this time, I wanted to make sure that you all had that wonderful letter from our commissioner. And at this time, I'm going to open it up for agency reports. I would ask that all board members, if you have any questions, that you would hold your questions until the end of all of the presentations, so that way we can stay on task with our timing, and so we'll have time to move into our second phase, which will be our committee breakouts, which I will explain to you all after the committee reports. So with that having been said, our Office of Child Welfare, Deputy Commissioner Havoc.
Good morning, everyone. I am proud to be able to share with you all some of the observances, events, and initiatives that are currently taking place within child welfare today. And I'm going to start by sharing something that we have done in an effort to promote careers within child welfare. We've hosted 2 in-person realistic job preview days since the beginning of the year. The first one we held in Lawrenceville on January 13th, and our second realistic job preview day was held on April 27th in Atlanta. And these events are designed to give folks who are thinking about a career in child welfare a realistic view of what the job looks like day to day. So event attendees have the opportunity to try on virtual reality headsets, and they get a simulation that depicts a home visit and working with a family, what that looks like from a case manager's point of view. Attendees also have the opportunity to talk with current employees, as well as hiring managers and our human resources employees. We have been impressed so far with the turnout to these events and the interest that the attendees have expressed after they have had the opportunity to be there. So we are hopeful that that leads to some folks who come to us and know what they're getting into and really are able to stay and thrive in a child welfare career. As you all heard in the Commissioner's report, we are continuing to prioritize technology modernization. And so we are thrilled about Georgia Communicare and being able to launch the app for Communicare and the official announcement, which is coming later this week about the app. A couple of things that were not mentioned earlier. It does have the ability for all of the parties who have access to it to be able to chat with each other, allows for notifications, calendar sharing, appointment scheduling, as well as being able to view information that all of the parties, of course, are legally entitled to in our system of record. There's also the opportunity for document sharing and then uploading those documents into Sean's. So it is really exciting to be able to launch the app for Georgia Communicare during National Foster Care Month. And we are really committed to projects, especially technology projects that are created with caregivers in mind. And so with caregivers being our focus, I want to share with you that we are developing what we're calling Georgia Caregiver Connection. And the Caregiver Connection system will digitize our foster parent onboarding process. So we are eager to launch that system later in the year. Of course, the training for foster parent onboarding will still be in person. This is just the actual onboarding and kind of paperwork process. Our teams are also hard at work creating technology that will digitize the foster parent reimbursement process. That is something that we know is greatly needed by our caregivers, and I'm going to be excited to share more information with you all about that project in the coming months. As you all know, it's May, so it's National Foster Care Awareness Month, and we very much enjoy the opportunity to celebrate foster caregivers and their dedication, because we know that we could not do it without them. It also is a time for us to raise awareness about the need for additional foster caregivers across the state. You all know that we will be recognizing our 14 foster caregivers of the year, and we're having a virtual celebration tomorrow. I hope you all can join us, and as we celebrate those folks and have an opportunity to learn about the caregivers that we are recognizing this year. We get to hear all about their dedication and the outstanding work that they are doing for our children and families overall. There is one more update that I'd like to share with you all, and it's about an initiative that's called There's No Place Like Home, which is something that we started back in 2016 and have continued to do every year since. It is an adoption-focused initiative where each year we select a cohort of children and youth who have an identified resource for adoption and work towards making sure that their finalization happens in that coming year. The cohort starts each year in December and ends in November, which of course is National Adoption Month. And we are pleased that we are meeting our goals, which are established each year towards finalization. And this just really serves as an opportunity to check in with our adoptions team and see what help that they may need overcoming barriers to get children and their families to finalization. So, you know, they work on things that, you know, like administrative tasks, or if there's missing paperwork, those kinds of things that may be preventing finalization. And then each month we have a celebratory call and highlight some of the adoptions that were finalized in the month before. It really is something that to me is very bucket filling, and I enjoy very much because it becomes a celebration, but it's also an opportunity for us to hold ourselves accountable and to learn what supports that folks who are trying to finalize adoptions may need so that we can create those for them. And that wraps up my update. So.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Commissioner. And if you would just remain with us until we go through the other reports. And so then after that, after completion of all of the reports, then I will open it up for questions that any of the board members may have. So next is our Office of Family Independence. And Deputy Commissioner Hallman.
Yes, thank you. We're just switching chairs so I can be a little closer to the microphone.
Okay.
All right, hello, my name is John Hallman. I'm the Deputy Commissioner of the Office of Family Independence, and I have a couple of updates to share with you all as well. I'm going to focus on 3 projects that we're working on now. First one being intelligent task routing. Second one being a professional development program the Commissioner mentioned in her letter. And the third being the library kiosk project that we just finished up. So to start with, intelligent task routing is a big initiative that we're working on right now that I'm very excited about. I don't know how familiar y'all are with our case work and caseload process in the gateway system. So I'll give you just a brief overview of how that works. So all of the work that comes into our office is assigned out immediately. So if an application comes in, it's immediately assigned to a caseworker that can process that application based upon their role in the gateway system. So if I'm a caseworker that can process Medicaid cases, I'll get a Medicaid application. If I can do Medicaid and SNAP, I'll get assigned with cases that have those programs in a single application to process things most efficiently. Then those are displayed for me on a dashboard in Gateway, and then with the help of my supervisor, I would then prioritize my day based upon how old an applications within my caseload are, and their standards of promptness is what we call them, the amount of time you're supposed to process work in. So I have applications, renewals, potentially changes. Those are the 3 kind of big buckets of work that we have. And so I would work with my supervisor to prioritize my own day and decide which cases I was going to work on to manage a caseload, really. So we give them that there's functionality for the dashboard. They can see everything that's assigned to them and kind of set their own priorities. And so that's our existing system. But we're actually moving to, we've met with some other states and we talked with them at conferences and things. And we actually met with the state of Texas, and they have what's called a more intelligent task routing system. We use the term tasks, so you don't talk about cases all the time, but they're basically the same thing. So instead of giving someone a caseload where they have to manage it, you actually create a system where one case is presented to a caseworker at a time. So basically, there's a button you push. They push the button, and you get a case. And what case you get is determined by a lot of things in the system. So, it could be my priorities. What's the most important thing for the agency right now? We mentioned Medicaid redeterminations coming to a close. We need to process all those renewals by the end of the month. So top priority, Medicaid renewals. If you're a Medicaid trained worker and you hit the button, Medicaid renewal will pop up. If you are an age, blind, and disabled Medicaid worker, DMA 59s, which is a nursing home form that they have to fill out for people when they come into their facilities, if that's the priority at the time, that will be presented to them. And so instead of having a dashboard where caseworkers have to manage their own work and set priorities for themselves, we can actually now, what we're going to do is build work groups, and we can put people into and take people out of work groups whenever we want. So if we wanted to stand up a special project, throw 10 people in it and throw a bunch of cases into that work stream and then prioritize them based upon oldest first, newest first, so whatever data we have about them, we can set that prioritization. And then as those 10 workers click, finish a case, hit get next, so bring the next top priority case at the time. And so, right now we do have information about cases before we've worked them, but it's really hard to know what you're getting into until you open it. It's like, I know it's a Medicaid case, but sometimes you'll open a Medicaid case and it's a large household with a very complex situation. And that can be challenging for a new worker. So we're also building in functionality to get, metadata, I would say, about cases. So you'll know if it's, one person household, 10 person household, more complicated case. We're actually going to run the interfaces on a case in advance so we can know if they have multiple types of income to create kind of a complexity score for a case and try to route those to our more veteran workers. And the easier, we have a newer worker, we can give them maybe one that's a little closer to what they saw in training, something that they can get used to the process before we throw them into more complicated cases. So, there's a ton that goes into that, but at a very high level, it's going to be moving from caseworkers managing their own workloads and setting priorities with the assistance of their supervisor to a more kind of centralized control over the prioritization of work that will hopefully allow us to work on the right work at the right time. That's a big thing that we struggle with now is we have to manually move work around. So sometimes the case will be sent to our right from the start Medicaid group it's a specialized team. They only do Medicaid work, and an application will come in and it looks like it's a Medicaid only application. So we send it to them because that's their specialty. And then they get in there and find there's a SNAP related piece to it. And so they have to then manually reassign that to a team that can work on both Medicaid and SNAP work. And so within this system, if that ever happened, which it shouldn't because we're going to have more data on the front end, but if it does happen, there's built-in functionality to escalate to a supervisor. The supervisor can then re-tag that and let it go back into the system to get reassigned out to a person who can work on that. So very excited about that because, we do spend a lot of time moving things around to make sure it gets to the right person. And as priorities change, we have to communicate that down. And instead of doing all that communication via email, via meeting, getting from me to a caseworker, there's a lot of people in between those 2 points. We can just control it from the system level. And we'll also have dashboards to watch to make sure no work is staying out too long. We'll have more pieces, points along the way where you can track the progress of individual cases. So a lot of great information about the work to help us manage the work better and get it to our caseworkers better. And so that's going to go into, that's being first implemented in August is when the kind of work group piece of it is going in, and then some additional pieces to add on those extra layers of data will be happening at November this year. So getting very excited that it's coming up. We're almost into the testing phase of the project, so very excited about that. There's also going to be a piece that'll make it easier for folks to reschedule appointments. That's another thing, is a challenge. Getting in contact with our clients takes a lot of time. And so being able to do that through the system instead of having to connect with someone to reschedule an interview would be helpful as well. So very excited about that project. The second project I wanted to share with you all today is one that the commissioner again mentioned in her letter. In our last meeting, I think I talked a lot about trying to move towards retention. We've done a lot of hiring over the past year and a half. I think we're at like 1,500 new caseworkers since the beginning of last year. I'd like to keep all those people. You know, that's the best way to improve our capacity is for those people to stay and for us to continue to build their abilities. So one thing that we've been working on is I got to think of a funner name for it, but right now we're just calling it Training and Professional Development Program. And basically it's just formalizing the process of the knowledge transfer from the supervisor to a caseworker. So that happens, you know, naturally across the state already, you know, as people work with, as caseworkers work with their supervisors, you know, they teach them things, but we're trying to you know, put a program in place to ensure that it happens for everyone. And we're going to give them a little bit of flexibility to, you know, depending on the resources you have in your office, if you have a good resource, you know, obviously, you know, just sharing them around. And, you know, we're using a model where we're training the administrators and the administrators will train the supervisors. And it's really a lot of that content is based on coaching. We sent some people from our OFI training professional development group to a special training class on coaching and then they're going to teach our administrators and the administrators are going to teach the supervisors. And we're doing it in a way that it kind of crosses their normal like hierarchy. So like an administrator from this region will train a supervisor in a different region, like give them exposure to more folks, create new connections. And, you know, if you can get a mentor that's not your direct chain of command, there's some benefits to that as well. So very excited about that program. That's going to kick off in July, very beginning of July is when it's scheduled to start. So excited about that. If anyone has any examples of those things that of previous ones that have been successful, we're still kind of brainstorming. I want to continue to build on it. You know, we started out with, you know, our coaching piece that the training folks are working on, and then HR has some ideas of some things to bring in, but I'm going to try to bring in like our quality team and maybe bring in our policy group later on to kind of keep building the content there that we're pushing. So if anybody has anything they'd like to contribute to that as well, please let us know. And my third project that I wanted to highlight is the library kiosks. I can't remember if we've mentioned this in this setting before, maybe briefly that we were working on it, but we actually have finished the library kiosk project, which was putting a dedicated, it's like a Chromebook in a stand we got 400 of them to give out to the Georgia Public Library System, and they distributed them to libraries all over the state. So, you know, we have a DFACS office in every county, but, you know, our hours of operation are different than the libraries. They're open on weekends, they're open later hours sometimes too. And they already had, you know, computers, and a lot of I think all of their locations have computer access, but sometimes those are being used by people for other purposes. And so these are a dedicated resource that anybody can access at any time. So we were able to use some funding provided through FNS's American Rescue Plan, so the SNAP agency gave us some funding, and those are out there now. You can go, there's one in my neighborhood. I plan to go there tonight because it's my polling place, it's election day, but gonna go see those, but they're available for across the state. We have a map. I think we're gonna share a link. So you can try to find one that's close to you, but check it out. But very excited about that. We're actually looking at that's been so successful and people like them so much. We're thinking about putting something similar in our lobbies. You know, we currently have a pretty big kiosk with limited functionality. It's kind of geared towards like uploading documents. And these ones, you know, it's the full customer portal gateway. It's a little lighter weight, so we can put more and they're looking to use it in tank. So very excited about that. And that was my last project to share.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Commissioner Hallman. And I would ask also if you don't mind remaining on until we complete all of the reports in the event that anyone has, any of the board members have any questions for you.
I will hang out.
Thank you. And so next is our next agency report in reference to information technology, and that is Deputy Commissioner Vengen. And I believe I just butchered your last name, and I apologize.
That's fine. Good. So again, let me introduce myself. My name is Riji Vijayan. I serve as the Chief Information Officer, and also I'm the Deputy Commissioner for Office of Information Technology. Previous to this, I used to be Assistant Deputy Commissioner for OFI and Child Welfare, and I joined the state from August of 2020. So I've been serving for last 3 years, 3+ years. So this is my first board meeting presenting. I've been listening to offline conversations, and my technology projects were being shared by Deputy Commissioners John and Mary. So anyway, I'm really excited to be here to provide the latest technology initiatives that we go through. And let me start with OFI, the OFI project. I have total of 5 projects, but OFI I have 1 project, and child welfare I have 4 projects. Rest of the projects are already being shared with you in other meetings. So let me start with OFI projects. First one is a DSNAP portal. So in the past, DHS has implemented manual processes and mobilized employees during disasters to manage certifications and issuance of benefits at the sites. So because of this, we had to develop a portal, a DSNAP portal that which allows Georgians recovering from disasters to request and receive DSNAP benefits more easily. So following the Hurricane Michael in 2018, our DSNAP program processed over 47,500 paper-based applications and providing $20 million in benefits to over 115,000 residents. With this accessibility of the new portal, we anticipate 75% reduction in staff needed for on-site operations. 75% decrease in total cost for staff travel and lodging, and 50% faster processing time due to automation and reducing waiting times. So this portal has been built out and is being tested in preparation for future disasters. So right now it used to be manual, so now we have a website that people can access and provide all their or submit their applications, and we can process that. So now let me touch on technology enhancements for child welfare. The first one being Shines re-platform. Our Georgia Shines system is 16+-year-old system. But there are so many modernization happening around it. I'm not saying we are stuck with 16-year-old system, but we are, like you saw that Communicare and other initiatives, so many other initiatives are going around this 16-year-old system. So how the question is, how can the 16-year-old system perform well supporting, because Shines is still the system of records. All the records from even the new system has to be transferred to Shines. So what we have done is the Shines re-platform project aims to upgrade the outdated software of the Georgia Shines to the latest technology. It's not a rewrite. We are not rewriting the Shines application. It is only upgrading those softwares, what is running behind it, right? This upgrade will help us modernize the application platform, offering us the ability to maintain, operate, and enhance the system more easily moving forward. This upgrade will also help Shines perform better, but all these are behind the scenes and won't affect end users. End users are not going to know there's a change happening because everything what we are doing is overall at the back end. So the screens will still remain the same, the functionality, but actually the engine is good. That's all we are doing. But it doesn't mean that we are changing the functionalities. We are upgrading more features to it. It's still an old system, but with the latest bells and whistles on the back end. Okay. So we plan to go live on summer of 2024. This initiative. So my next project is on bots. It is automation for data entry. When you say bots, it's nothing but it's not an artificial intelligence. I just wanted to make sure that it is not an AI. Bots, what does bots do? Bots actually helps to transfer any data from one system to other system. Right now, let's say a caseworker has to gather certain information from system A and manually enter into system B. So this takes time and also sometimes creates errors while transferring, and also not most of the data may be missing while transferring the data. Only important data are transferred. But what bots does is it actually goes into the system A, transfers accurately those data into system B, and provides those, it saves case workers from, for example, we actually timed that process for child welfare, which is where a mandated, what do you call this, mandated reporter portal. So the case worker were trying to go into mandated reporter portal, trying to take those intakes and log and entering it into Shines. This takes usually 20 minutes. So using bots to transfer these data took us average of 6 minutes. 6 minutes. So that only saves time for data entry purpose. I just wanted to make sure very clear that caseworker will still review all the information once it is entered into the Shines and make the actual case determination and disposition. So caseworker is going to do what she's doing. Only what this bot does is delves in transferring the data from one system into another system. So by doing that, as I said, we save from anywhere from 20 minutes to 6 minutes. So that per case, this is per case. Okay. So we actually, this is already been implemented, and this is we began this feature earlier this year. So my my third project on child welfare, which is the fourth project that I'm going to say, is Argo placements. We call it Argo placements.
Again?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an Argo placement. We have two parts to the Argo. One is placement and second is provider services. So I'll start with Argo placement. Argo placement actually facilitates communications between service providers and DFACS case managers to better serve families by supporting placement finding process. So when I say Argo placement is nothing but it's a placement match based on the child's needs and the home's attribute. This system is going to prioritize those placement for example, DFACS foster homes, CPA foster homes, and other placement types. It will show, it will give you a scoring and all that stuff, and it will prioritize based on the child's needs and the home attributes. It will find a home what is available there for the child. So this Argo placement also creates a universal application by leveraging all Shines data and also generates a phone list to use when contacting potential homes. We are excited to offer this tool to staff to help their day-to-day tasks easier and help find permanency for children faster. As I said, there is a second part to the Argo, which is Argo provider portal. So, and finally, I wanted to tell more about the Argo provider portal, which is separate from Argo placement. This streamlines the provider service request and authorization. That means any child that is in need of services, those services will be posted and the providers can actually see. It is a locality based. It doesn't go to based on where the child is located. We have a geolocations, and all the providers in that geolocation will receive those services, and these providers can actually accept those services. And once, let's say that more than one or two placement providers, or not placement, delivery service providers have accepted these requests, the case manager has the visibility and now clarity, and they will authorize one of the placement provider, and that placement provider will provide this service. So now this is, so for example, the benefit of this technology includes enhanced access to provider to view and respond and approve services. Now, this is phase one. Now we are also working to improve the invoice submission and approval process. That is phase two. That is in process. So the placement provider portal for accessing the services and even authorizing the services, that is already live. Now the next part is now you know what are the services that they provide, what services they did. Now it is previously these communications used to happen via email or phone or mail. Now you have a website where the providers can log in and see their requests and also provide what services they have provided. So it is, the next step is basically we have all the information. Why can't we process now the invoice, right? So the invoice is taking more time to generate for what the provider has provided the services. So we are now working on getting the invoice automation done so that it helps case workers or case managers to have these invoices done. So as I said, this invoice automation is planned to go live in late summer of or early fall of 2024. So as you can see, we have several innovative technology projects that are going to enhance the quality and efficiency of our services. I know there are many projects out there. And you saw that John Hellman has already stated 3 and Mary Havik has already stated 2. So there's so many technology work that is going on. OIT is really busy providing these services, and that with all that, I'm just closing the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. And so now, I would like to thank all 3 of you, Deputy Commissioners Havik, Hammond, and Vijayan. Thank you all for your reports. At this time, I would like to ask if any of the board members have any questions in reference to the Office of Child Welfare or the Office of Family Independence or Information Technology.
I have a couple of questions. This is Randall Hammer.
Okay, go ahead.
For Mary, who has access to Georgia Communicare? Like, is it foster parents, bio parents, staff members? Who are those people? All those people?
In CASA.
Okay. Cool. And then a question for John. The kiosks that are in the libraries, how are they marked? Like, when you walk in a library and you see a kiosk, this might sound weird, but is it like, how is it labeled that people know what that is? And what exactly are they using it?
Sure. So the kiosk, the stand that we got has a section where you can put kind of branding in.
Yes.
Or whatever you want.
Sure.
To print and slide in there. So we put something in there that says that it's a benefit kiosk and then list the program supported by Georgia program.
Okay.
So it has Medicaid, TANF, SNAP, WIC, CAPS, all our logos are on there.
And does it do anything like there's a laptop you can write in there? Or
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a Chromebook with,
okay.
it looks like a tablet for them.
And is that all that it does?
It's locked down so they can
Okay.
only access the game.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you, guys. That's it.
Any additional questions? Okay, without hearing any additional questions, thank you all once again for your reports. And so at this time, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the agenda. And I just wanted to say that the reports that were given today, these 3 reports are focused on projects and initiatives of each of these offices that will better help us to know what the committees that we're about to have a breakout session for, to know a little bit for those committees for our discussion. And so after our last board meeting, the board indicated that we wanted to focus on some specific committees. In addition to that, the executive board thought it would be great if we had breakout sessions, and not only have breakout sessions, but I'm going to explain a little bit about our various committees. And then we have assigned each board member a committee. And so we would just ask as the executive board that you attend the breakout session for that particular committee, and then if it is of interest to you and you want to remain on that committee, that would be wonderful. And if it's something or a committee that you just have a deep and dear passion to participate on that you were not assigned, just let us know and we can make the adjustments for those. But before I go into the deep dive of our committees and the regional reports, I just want to remind all of us about our vision, our mission, and our guiding principles. And I always like to start with a quote. So I have a quote for the day for our meeting. And if you would, let me see, give me 1 second. Let's see here. So one of the quotes was, children, and this is an anonymous quote, it says, children are great imitators, so give them something great to imitate. And that is how I see our DFACS advisory board. You know, we are doing great and wonderful works, and hopefully we can continue to do so, and we will be able to do even more to assist with our committees and our breakout sessions. So our vision is safe children, strengthen families, and stronger Georgia. Our mission, we prioritize the safety of Georgia's children in the decisions we make and the actions we take. We partner with families on their strength to independence and build stronger communities with caring, effective, and responsive services. And our guiding principles are that we commit to the safety of our children and the decisions we make and the actions we take. We empower, strengthen, and support families on their path to independence. We embrace a servant's heart with compassion. We provide caring, responsive, and effective service. Listen and respond to our constituents, communities, and each other. Collaborate with our communities to create systems of support, and develop a professional and efficient workforce that never stops learning and growing. And so I just wanted to share with everyone that with our children and our families, look, they imitate what they see. And so I just want to commend our board for your work and your efforts, and we're doing great work, great business. So with that, the committees that we have are as follows, and each of you should have received an email with an outline of the committees that we have. But we have the Office of Family Independence, OFI, Community Relations Content, Bylaws Content, Regional Trends Content, and Child Welfare Content. And so what I am going to do is for OFI, or Office of Family Independence, that deals with Medicaid eligibility. And that is the Office of Family Independence staff determine eligibility for and administer the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, Medicaid, and Temporary Assistance for Needy Families programs. The committee work will include discussions on these program areas and other projects as reported by OFI staff in board meetings. And so the people that we have asked to attend the breakout session for OFI would be Region 2, Dr. Fran Chastain, Region 9, Travis Niblett, Region 11, Lacey Tippins, and those are the 3 people for OFI. So if you would join the breakout session for OFI, that would be great. Next is our community relations content, and that particular committee is community partnerships, outreach, and communications. The Office of External Affairs engages, informs, and educates our partners and the public to advance the DHS mission of building stronger families for a stronger Georgia. Units within external affairs include the offices responsible for communications, community outreach, constituent services, and government and legislative affairs. Committee work will include discussions on these areas and how best board members and staff can engage with communities. And so in reference to the community relations content for our board members for that, we have Region 5, Anna Beeden. We have Region 12, Allison Christensen. And community, and we have our member at large, Janice Venice. So those are the three for community relations content. Now, as to our bylaws content, our bylaws review annually. The Bylaws Committee is responsible for initiating changes and updates to the DFAC State Advisory Board bylaws. The Bylaws Committee must meet at least annually to review if changes are needed. And currently, our executive board member, Jennifer, serves as the bylaws chair. And so because the Bylaws Committee does not meet that often, if there is anyone that is interested in serving on the Bylaws Committee, please send us an email and include Jennifer on that. But I did not include bylaws as a breakout session for today because they do not meet that often and it would be more on a needs basis. So our next one is regional trends content, and that the regional and county annual reports, regional needs, regional areas of growth and needs. The Regional Trend Committee is responsible for analyzing regional areas of growth and need throughout the state. They will also have an opportunity to participate in the review of DFAC's county annual reports each year. So the people that we have, the board members that we have for the Regional Trends Committee is Region 3, Randall Hambrick, Region 10, Tommy Hill, and Region 13, Meredith Holt. And then our next and last committee that we have is child welfare content. That is foster care, adoption, child abuse, and neglect. Child welfare staff investigate reports of child abuse and neglect, finds foster and adoptive homes for abused and neglected children. The committee work will include discussions on these program areas, staff needs, and other projects and events as reported by child welfare staff in board meetings. And so for the board members for child welfare content is Region 14, myself, Shandina Morris, at-large member Jennifer Shippo, and then also at-large member Judge Costley, John Virgil Costley. And so those are the three for the child welfare content. So at this time, I just wanted to make sure that while we had everyone on with our deputy commissioners, that I went ahead and assigned the committees for us to attend the breakout room. So very shortly, we will be going to our breakout rooms. And at this time, I will go back to the agenda, and if we could have our regional reports. And if we could start with Region 2, I don't know if Dr. Chastain was able to join us.
She has not joined us.
Okay. Region 3?
Yes. Oh, Sorry, I was figuring out who was in what, sorry, just, regional reports. I think that, our last regional meeting, was just a couple of days ago. It went really well. We basically just discussed all the wins with how they're honoring foster parents for the month of May. So there were a lot of really great ideas with all our different counties. I loved everything they said, and a lot of partnership with different businesses like Home Depot, in Polk County provided beautiful like flower baskets for every single foster family in the county. Like, so lots of connecting with the community and having restaurants help and gift cards being given and raffles and all sorts of really great things. I think one of the biggest hurdles right now is trying to figure out, so if there's any possible way, they asked me to actually come bring this, if there's any possible way we can figure out how to allow gift cards to be something we can figure out how our regions can do those legally. So for example, AmeriGroup gave our region $5,000. And what our region asked was for foster parent appreciation, foster family appreciation. And what we asked them, oh, that'd be great if we could divide that amount up between the amount of foster families in our region and give them a gift card to wherever, Walmart, a grocery store, what have you. Well, they ended up not doing the gift cards and just writing a check. And now it's really challenging for our region to figure out, like, what they really want to do is get gift cards to families to be able to meet some practical needs they have. But now they can't do that because you can't buy gift cards. So I think we're trying to figure out the dilemma with gift cards. How can accounting change the restrictions of buying gift cards, or is there something we can move towards doing to make it to make gift cards an option? Big spend the church. Does that make sense?
It does. So we will try to find out that answer and see if there is a way that we can do that we can do that.
Because without like going through like, oh, take that money, give it to a different nonprofit, and then that nonprofit buys the gift cards, it gets just a little sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to figure out, gotta be good.
Okay, so hopefully we will be able to come up with a way in which we can do that, Randall. But give us, let's see, Emma, how much time do you think that we need to consult with legal and make sure that we're able to do that and do that in a manner that is appropriate?
We will do that this afternoon. When we will get a response and a confirmation of things may take up to a week or two, but I will get it out yourself.
I think this has also been kind of like, for years it's been an issue. So this is just a new, like, real felt actual example, but it's always an issue. So I'm not sure they're just going to come back and say, yeah, sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
But like, what can we do to change that is really what we need on the ground.
Okay, or if there is another way in which we can do that, which is within, that is, you know, within the policies and procedures, and that we won't have any issues, any legal issues. So,
Yes.
Okay, we'll work on that and try to get an answer for you.
Thank you.
Let's see, we've got Region 5, Anna.
Yes, unfortunately, I do not have a comprehensive update for our region today. I will come with that at my next meeting.
Okay, well, thank you, Anna. And so once again, we are glad to have you here. And so for our next meeting, generally, we ask with our regional reports that each member just provides one or two areas in which things are going well in your region, and one or two areas in which we might be able to approve, one or two areas in which we may be able to improve. So that's what we usually ask. So we look forward to hearing more from you at our next meeting. Thank you. And let's see here, Region 7. I don't believe Deke is present. Region 8. I don't believe.
Elva is not here.
Region 9, Travis.
He has not joined us either.
Okay. And Region 10, Tommy. Tommy is not present, correct?
He is on, let's see, or he was. Let me see.
Okay, I don't see him on my end. So we will go to Region 11, Lacey.
Hey guys, Lacey Tippins, Region 11. Unfortunately, our region met last Thursday and I was in court all day and have not been able to get in, and had court Friday and Monday yesterday. So I have not had an opportunity to check in with the region and find out anything that's going on. So I really don't have a report today. I apologize.
Okay. And Region 12, Allison. Allie? I see her on, but I'm not hearing anything.
She said she will not be able to be on for her report, but she sent it in. Their biggest need right now is a regional director vacancy. They've had great appreciation weeks for staff, and their chamber recognized DFACs for the first time ever as first responders, which she said was a very big win. They were excited about that.
Okay, thank you. And Region 13, Meredith.
Yes, I have not had a chance to meet with the newly appointed regional director, Travis Moses, but I will have something next time with them.
Okay. And let's see, that was Region 13. Region 14, that's myself. So in Region 14, we have an interim DFACS director for DeKalb County, and we are looking to secure our permanent DFACS director for DeKalb. We also are celebrating the Foster Awareness Month, and we are preparing now for upcoming November for National Adoption Month. And in addition to that, we're preparing for the December celebration with the courts and our children in care and their families, a celebration with the courts. And we just recently received a sponsorship with Chick-fil-A, so we're all excited about that. So those are some of the updates that we have for Region 14. And let's see, Jennifer, at large, number 4.
I recently, a couple of weeks ago, Anna actually attended this alongside of me for our region. They have something called the 5 Hive, and it is excellent. So at this monthly event, and Anna can kind of chime in too, they invite all of the service providers for the region, and then also the child placing agencies alongside DFACS staff with the resource development team. And each person from an organization got to share about their organization and provide updates, celebrations, and it was a really special time for Region 5. And I would love for that to be implemented around the state for each region to have something similar for collaboration, for placement for children. Is there anything you would add about it?
Well, just maybe clarify. So that the 5 Hive has recently kind of stepped into helping revamp Pullman 5 to bring a little bit of a new structure. So that's something that Region 5 is kind of figuring out and harnessing some super motivated foster parents who have gotten involved in the past couple of years to help kind of bring some life back into Holman 5. It's been a really great resource for lots of different providers in the region. And so we definitely want to continue that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And let's see, Jeff. Now, I saw Jeff just a second ago. Huh. Okay, so we can come back to Jeff and let's see, Judge Costley. I thought I see the names, but everyone's audio is muted. Okay, well, we can come back. So at this time, I guess that concludes our regional reports. And now, Emma, I believe we need about 10 minutes to go into our breakout sessions? And if you don't
We'll
mind.
take about 10, 15 minutes for our in-person members to go to their appropriate stations and log on to the next link. You guys should have received a meeting invite that says committees, DFACS advisory board, and you will log on using that link and we will break you out into your place.
Okay, and it's so with that, so let's see, it's 11:10 now. So if we would just say everyone join at 11:25. If you're present in person, join in your particular area. And if you're online virtually, then join, log on to the email and then join with that particular link. So thank you all. Thank you all for participating and being present. I want to thank all of our deputy commissioners for being with us today and giving us reports. And so with that being said, we will adjourn this portion of our meeting and go into our breakout sessions starting at 11:25. Thank you.